Hello? Hello? Let me just test the audio, making sure. Good. Um, first, hold on. Let me wait for it. Test. Johnny test. Okay. So that's good. The microphone works. So I'm gonna be finishing up Tears of the Kingdom. Not really gonna say much during the gameplay until like after the credits are over, and then the game is basically done, and then it'll just be like a post game kind of commentary type, discussing my feelings on the game, a lot of feelings in general, few channel stuff here and there, not too much. Literally, if you're, I should have said this before, but if you're someone in the future watching this, just you can just skip to the gameplay, the good stuff that you want. If you want to actually know how I feel about a lot of things, or at least a good portion of things, you can skip to the post game stuff. Or if it's way into the future and I decided to get off my not high horse, off my butt, then yeah, you can watch however long of a video I've made on this. Hopefully, it's 3 hours worth. Yeah, I want to be on that Arlo status. But besides that, yeah, I'm not gonna add too much. I'm gonna put more to the post stuff on how I feel in general, how I feel about the game, and a lot of other stuff in the mix. So I'm actually pretty excited to finally play the game. It's been like 2 months, almost 2 months, like a month and 90% that I haven't played this game since. Even if I go back to my original save, it's like, you know, I kind of left this on the back burner. Played Scooby Doo for like Halloween stuff, but I had some Sonic Frontiers stuff, final update, and now I'm back to Tears of the Kingdom. But I've talked for way too long. I've worked way too long on the damn thumbnail. So hopefully the stream doesn't have any oddities. So I'm gonna get on with it. And see you all through the game. And until then, until the post in credits game, then I'm talking again. So yeah, this was really dragged out. I'm sorry for that. But yeah, see you all or hear you all in the post game stuff.
Link, we shall protect Hyrule together.
The Gerudo owe you for your help. You can count on me.
I will atone for my past failure. It is time to stop the Demon King.
That gloom, it means but one thing. The Demon King is there. Huh?
More obstacles in our path, but our foe is mistaken if he thinks this will stop us!
We have fated to fight these beasts. Don't worry about us. Link, we'll take care of this, Goro! You ready to see the power of a sage?
We'll be fine! We already beat them once! This'll be a breeze for sure!
It is time, Link. The rest is up to you.
Shrouded in darkness, not bathed in insufferable light. All these weak, peace-loving cowards running rampant. It would have been more satisfying to overcome a worthy foe.
Regardless, I will reshape this world as it was meant to be. I will crush any opposition. I will rule. That is what a king must do. Do not look away. You witness a king's revival. And the birth of his new world. Is that all? So. Die! Fall! Coward! Here I come! Take this! Fall! Die! What a feeling. I'd almost forgotten the thrill of battle. That feeling as blood surges in my veins. And I am not even nearing the limits of my power. Enjoy these final moments. I will be taking far more than you're on this time.
I'm with you, Link! Hang in there! Link!
Show the Demon King who's boss, Link! Sorry it took so long.
I'm taking you down, Demon King!
It's time to finish him off, Lee.
this world into eternal night.
Link. Link. The Master Sword. Your sword. She is the key to destroying the Demon King. He defeated her before, but a long slumber will heal these grievous wounds. And when you two next face the Demon King, you will have my strength to help you through her. Link, you are our final hope. I pray this sword reaches you in the future. How are you? I was... He reached you, after all. He's gone. The Demon King. I'm not in a dream, right? You did it. Oh, Link, you really did it. But how am I... No, I understand. I had been sleeping all this time. But when I felt something, like a warm, loving embrace, I woke up. Thank you. Link, I met such wonderful people. I saw Hyrule as it was. I have so much to tell you. So much happened. Oh, Link, I'm home.
I can't believe such an impressive landmass can float in the sky. Just when I thought I'd started to figure the Zonai out.
Everyone, I am glad I was able to bring you all here. I wanted to share this view of Hyrule with all of you.
Whoa! I've never been this far up before, Goro.
Wow, what a sight it is. And Zelda, you were roaming the skies all along?
Yes, although I don't really remember. I never thought I would actually stand here again.
This is only a theory, but Raru's power of light and Sonia's time power. For Zelda to transform back, they both must have channeled their abilities through you, Link.
I see.
Now it seems it is my time.
Minoru!
Do not worry. You have overcome the burden my era left to you. You have proven yourself, and you no longer need me. I know I can move on, join Raru and the others, and the world will be safe.
Those of us gathered here swear on our lives to support Princess Zelda and... to support Princess Zelda and safeguard the land of Hyrule.
Raru and Sonia will be happy to hear of this.
But Minoru...
And I'll let them know just how much you care. Thank you all.
King Raru, Queen Sonia, Minoru. The ancient sages. They wished not only to save Hyrule from the Demon King, but for it to see eternal peace. I will dedicate myself to that goal. Now, and for all time. My friends, With all of your strength, stand with me.
Okay, that was great. Feels all over again. Ooh, that was my second time beating the game, and I may as well just give whatever thoughts I have. Felt really good to play this game again, once again. And having all this extra stuff pop up, like Demon King Ganondorf, because it doesn't actually normally pop up. I'm pretty sure it does the same thing when I first dealt with the game. Could have sworn they added something here. Yeah, there was a prompt when I got the Master Sword. But then again, that might have also been Ganondorf, I should say. I don't know. I'm going to let this quest still be a thing. Why do I have 3 main quests? That's weird. How do I have 3 main quests? Like, these should be the last 2, but I don't remember. Wow, that's a lot. Because I was originally going to beat the game and then go to my actual first game, save game. Okay, so it doesn't show the getting the sword cutscene. But to be honest, I feel like in general, this game wanted it so that you don't get the Master Sword this time around. And frankly, I'm kind of okay with that. I feel like if anything, that should be the last quest before the actual last quest that you have to do, which is finding Zelda. Like, I just feel like it's more appropriate. Like, all the weapons are decayed, and it's like, yeah, sure, technically Zelda has been embedding power inside of the Master Sword, but why would you get it now until like the very final moment when you actually need it to defeat the most powerful version of Ganon? Not Ganondorf, but Ganon, or like how I like to call him, Draganon, since that's literally what he is. Yeah, feel good. Definitely feel more better knowing that I got to have my full playthrough. Even though it's my second time, it's not really a blind playthrough. I knew everything that I needed to do, but for the most part, I try to keep things cinematic for the most part. Certain elements, certain times when it came down to going to temples, like good old Shrine of Dying, turn that off. It just made it feel more appropriate, more formal. And then also the usage of my quality of life mods, aka WAAAAY, aka the reason why the game is so silky smooth, because that good old 60 FPS, even though it drops down to like stable 30 at the very worst, I guess. But depending on what's going on, it's not as stable as it could be or should be, really. But you know, maybe in like another 5 years or so, there'll be means of not having to require a mod of your own fan-made quality of life modifications. But it's a long ways to then. Also, having the sage's abilities just be overpowered, unlike how I had it in my first playthrough, where everything was pretty tame. I enjoy this game. And playing it now just feels really good. Like just taking in all the scenery and stuff. The locked 1080p resolution. All the good stuff. And the fact that like even the smallest details like Raru's arm being visible and stuff is like really cool, but wasn't in the base game. You know, you'd have just his hand, which is why when it came down to what, let me see which outfit. See, this outfit is completely fine because I guess the way they have it is the top part is just the little I don't know what it's called, but the cloth that's on his chest, it's like there's not too much that needs to be taken away from Naked Link's top to make it look, you know, more natural. Versus this one, right? Like the mod is good, but for some reason his arms Rayman like for this and the other one, which is, yeah. So it's like very weird. So, you know, as great as mods are, as well as Link showing off his pecs, it's just, it's more lore accurate or promotional accurate. It feels good, and the fact that Nintendo was like, nah, you all can just be good with just seeing his hand, right? Or at least Raru's hand. Yeah, one thing I did kind of like get mad about is the fact that it's like Hetsu. Like I thought like once Hetsu was there at Lookout Landing, he'd give you the, you know, the ability to like level up like your slots or whatever. But then I'm just there like, okay, he should leave. But then I guess I kind of confused it with Breath of the Wild in that aspect. And then I ultimately end up having all these slots where all I wanted was the default vanilla slots, just so the game could have like more tension and like more creative thinking when it comes down to actually utilizing your items and stuff. So then you're not just using it all willy-nilly and such. Because I feel like once, like, just look at this long list of items I have. It's like I didn't even use all of these in the final fight. You know, it's like I use this, and maybe this and this. And it was just, they're like, most of those kind of like just went away because of the fact that I threw it. Because for me, I also wanted to, just like how I was saying, I wanted to be more formal, more giving it cinematic feel. I also wanted to have Link have, you know, his default outfit, because it just makes a lot of sense. And not only that, but it's like I said before, the Master Sword is something that you should not get until the until the game basically gives it to you type stuff. It just feels like that's the way it should have been. You know, it's like, it's cool to have the Master Sword, but just like how in the depths you have all these X marks to spot stuff, you know, it's like, yeah, it's cool to have, but like once you do have it, it's just like, it's literally just a collectible. In this game, the Master Sword is just a collectible. Versus Breath of the Wild, the Master Sword, yeah, sure, it is a collectible still, technically. But like, given the fact that you can upgrade it and all that, stuff with the Trials of the Sword. Granted, that was DLC, and frankly, should have just been like part of a free update. I don't think that opinion is invalid, but I guess it also means that none of the Trials of the Sword did not happen, given the fact that, like, oh shoot, I don't have the Master Sword, I forgot, so I can't showcase it. But given the fact that the actual Master Sword itself is at 30, and since there's no Guardians or anything, I think it just stays at 30. Like, I remember in Breath of the Wild where it can go to 70 depending on what's going on and if there's like enemies or something. Like, I haven't played Breath of the Wild in a while, so I don't remember. And even mentioning Breath of the Wild, I was about to be like, oh, you know what, I'll just ride the Master Cycle. And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have that. I think I don't have a horse. But yeah, there's just a lot of things that I loved about this game, but at the same time, there's still just as much nitpicks, but not nitpicks in a way where it's just negativity for the sake of negativity, or, oh man, the hype was not worth it. Because I know there's a lot of people who were definitely hyped, especially when it comes down to the YouTube sphere of things, that were like, oh my god, this is so great, this is gonna be the next best thing since sliced bread, Jesus Christ almighty, and this and that, whatever. But it's like, I was on that hype level, but at the same time, it's just like, keep yourself level-headed. Like, just because they say that they're going to put more story and put this and that, whatever, and do, just because it's a sequel and it's not just DLC, and just because they said it themselves that, you know what, it started out as DLC, but then we made it into a whole new game because it was so expansive. Don't let that shit make you think, oh man, this game was so underwhelming. It's like, bro, it's a sequel. It is indeed a sequel. Even if it was DLC, I'm pretty sure that DLC would have worked as a sequel. Could have been like a standalone thing, sure, but that clearly wasn't the case. Given the fact that the limitations of what they could have done in this game versus what like they added on from on top of Breath of the Wild, like you have, granted, the depths aren't as depthful as they may seem, but it's way more depthful than the goddamn sky lands, because it's like this is the only biggest area for the sky, which it should have definitely been more. And given the fact that they released Skyward Sword HD edition to like hold people off, as well as like really going into the whole, oh, the Zelda timeline, this and that, whatever, you know, play the first game. And you know, I feel kind of good knowing that Skyward Sword is going to probably be certain people's first Zelda game, even though that's kind of weird to say, because it's like Breath of the Wild came out before Skyward Sword HD, and then that, you know, just to have people be like, basically have people play the very last, you know, for its time, last timeline game and whatnot, and then they end up releasing the very first timeline, which I have no idea why people are still confused by that fact, where it's just like, oh man, you know, they're retconning this and that, whatever. It's like, no, that is not the case. Could you say that they probably just didn't give a fuck about consistency? Yep, and you'd be completely valid and actually factually right if you wanted to say that, because they did not care about consistency, because there was just too much to think about when it came down to the game. Okay. Let me see. And frankly, I feel like that was just poorly done by them. Like, they could have had a whole entire board on trying to keep everything on track, you know? Who does Link know? Who has Link encountered? This and that, whatever. Which is why it's like, for me, it's like, all right, the Link getting a house is canon, but like, for some reason, it's just like, At least in the English version, it's now like, oh, Zelda's house, which is just supposedly in the Japanese translation, it's called Our House, aka Link and Zelda's, which would make a lot of sense given the fact that like there's a well for like Zelda's studies, you know, because you know Zelda did have her studies in her actual home, which was Hyrule Castle, obviously, but now it's just they're like, you know what, not only is it a callback to A Link to the Past, it kind of makes sense, you know, they just live together now. Granted, you know, the bed just being a bed for one, who knows. Okay, what does he have to say? I heard the Korok Forest was all weird for a while there, but I guess now it's back to normal. That makes me happy, eh? Okay. I don't remember that. I probably skipped that dialogue, to be honest. Either that or maybe on my first playthrough I kind of like went to the Lost Woods just to be like, whoa, how am I supposed to get there? And I just didn't collect a whole bunch of Koroks. Because on my first playthrough, like, I spent so much time in the depths playing Minecraft and shit. And I had fun. I really did. It was stupid. But at the same time, certain mindless things in games shouldn't necessarily be looked down upon. Because if you can play a game mindlessly and have fun and know what the hell it is you're doing, even if it is just you collecting a whole bunch of items that may or may not end up being useless, it's like there's something about being able to have that same feeling of being like a kid again, playing a game the same way you would as a kid. But then again, there's always there's different perspectives for everything. You know, my childhood is completely different. Like, I've played so many hours, so many new games, save files of Donkey Kong 64, a collectathon game that had the most collectible items, and probably still outnumbers a whole bunch of other games when it comes down to how much collectibles it has. To be honest, it's like I don't even know. I want to say probably it's on par with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but you know, Donkey Kong 64 wasn't doing like padding at all by any means. Like, if it sent you back to DK Island every single fucking time you got a collectible or something, then yeah, sure, that's some mean ass padding. That's not even padding, that's batting. See what I did there? You know, I flipped the P upside down and then I reversed it. But yeah, it's yeah. But then again, I don't want to really disrespect the game that was the only game that I had during my childhood that allowed me to save. And just saying that, not a lot of people, well, you know, maybe there's like a fraction of people that have that experience. Maybe there are people who did have the save pack. But I feel like, or at least from my perspective and my childhood bias, it feels as though, given how expensive gaming was back then, and trying to afford like the basic shit, like a memory pack was probably like, I don't know, maybe like $30. Given, you know, learning how much dear old mother actually was getting paid and this and that, whatever, and trying to make do with, you know, being single mother, all that stuff. You know, black stereotypes. I mean, they're not every stereotype is just a stereotype. Some shit's just reality. So, you know, she made the best of what she could. And frankly, Donkey Kong 64 being the only game that I had for the N64, which was my main console for many years until dear old dad came back to the life. And that's a whole conversation for another day. But then that's when I had a PS2, and ironically, he didn't bring me a memory card. So I was like, okay, I mean, I'm kind of like used to that. But outside of that, this game made me feel like first playing it had me that giddy feeling of happiness, being happy, feeling happy, childlike wonder. And it still, and even now, it still feels that way. And I don't think anything can really like take away from it. Which is like, when certain people, especially people who have like a following of sorts, and then they just be on the negative side, which I'm not saying, oh, be on the positive side, toxic positivity, there's no such thing as that, but it's just like, people can better critique it than just the fucking shallow ass aspect of, everyone's gonna mention the fucking story, everyone's gonna mention the fucking open world, everyone's gonna mention the fact that like, it's the same map. Yes, it definitely is. There's not necessarily an issue with that. And I'm not saying that just because of the fact that like there's certain places or basically everywhere is differently. No, it's not because of just that. We all like to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So like, how come with this game it was such an issue? Especially when you have the same arguments of it plays the same as well, which that also isn't a fucking issue when you have Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, motherfucking even the original Legend of Zelda game, and then you pair that up with A Link to the Past. They don't play exactly the same, but they work off the same framework. Same framework. I might have accidentally said frame rate, but not only that, but then even then it's like you have Link's Awakening, the Oracle games. Rest in peace, that Oracle blue girl, no, green, whatever. Nehru, was that her name? Nehru's love? No. Faru, yeah. Damn, I really wish that got a game. Same with the whole remake of Link's Awakening, adding the Oracle games as like DLC. Miss potential Nintendo instead of some bullshit ass dungeon crawling make Mario Maker, but like Zelda in 2D. Other than that, yeah, there's a whole bunch of games that take from the original Legend of Zelda more than they take from 3D Zelda. And even then, it's like most of the Zelda fan base, I guess you could say, have only mainly played the 3D Zeldas. I feel like when it comes down to the 2D Zelda, not a whole bunch of people really played it. I know damn well ain't nobody playing Zelda 1 and 2. They're just not. I have yet to play or take time to go to the first dungeon of the first Zelda game and complete it. It's just, I don't know. For me, it's just, I like A Link to the Past. So if I decide to play the first Zelda game, I'm thinking A Link to the Past. That is all that is running through my head. And then it's just like, I can't even count fucking Legend of Zelda 2, because all that's going to make me want is be like, man, you know what's crazy? The fact that Link's Awakening, the Oracle games, did side-scrolling better. That's all that's going to run through my head. But even when it comes down to that game, it's just they're like, given the fact that Zelda is an RPG, you are role-playing as the character, Link. Like, I don't care what the hell you name the character, you're just Link. Which is kind of based of what Breath of the Wild did, and Tears of the Kingdom as well. Don't really remember if any other Zelda games officially made it so that your name is Link, but outside of that, it's just, people just complain about that shit. The really stupid stuff about Breath of the Wild, which, yes, certain shit is understandable, but that doesn't stop it from being a fucking stupid hot take. And given the fact of how people word it, how they fail to word it, it just doesn't do their argument justice when it's just, oh, it's the same thing as Breath of the Wild, but like there's more. And they're like, isn't that really what people mostly wanted for the most part? Like, yes, sure, the more isn't what you entirely wanted it to be, because you were probably thinking, oh, more dungeons, more fucking, whatchamacallit, more dungeons, more temples, this and that, whatever. When it's just, they're like, realistically, dungeons I can understand. But the one thing this game definitely did bring were caves. Caves were definitely a shit ton of things. Granted, the caves didn't really add too much as far as like rewarding people, but at the same time, what the fuck did the originals do? All they did was, here's a cave, and you ultimately know you're gonna get a heart piece, or you're gonna get a, I don't know, you get a heart piece, and I can't really think of anything more of what the hell you would get. You either get a heart piece or you get a whole bunch of rupees. Like, they never really gave you so much. The only thing that I can say is, at least when it came down to caves in the past Zelda games, or specifically 2D Zelda games, it was always puzzling to like go through it, and certain things where it's like you needed specific items, which I can understand that argument, where it's like, oh well, like look at all this fucking shit that I barely really use. Like I'm never really using the hydrant, but at the same time you could use it. And people's arguments of it's too much stuff, or it's just not focused, which I don't feel like, I don't know. I feel like if a game makes you lose focus a lot and you just end up doing what it is that you want versus what the game kind of like leads you to do, I feel like that's pretty good. Granted, should there still be some sort of, not necessarily hand holding, but some sort of I'm trying to think of the word, I don't know, maybe a few focus here and there, but for the most part, as handholdy as the beginning of this game was, it still lets you do what you wanted to do. Is it the same as the Great Plateau? Hell yeah, but it's just in the sky. What if the next game is just like the same thing, but you're underground? Like how many aspects is needed before people are satisfied? Like I never understood that. I mean, I kind of can understand it. Can't really say I never did. I'm gonna just keep it here. Oh. Different strokes for different folks. I can understand different aspects, but I'm still valid to say that people have really overblown a lot of shit when it comes down to how they negatively view the game. When they're like, oh, it's disappointing, it's this and that or whatever, because it's just Breath of the Wild again. You have Majora's Mask, you have fucking Twilight Princess. Granted, that's kind of a stretch, but I remember people saying Twilight Princess was just Ocarina of Time in a way, but like more edgy, which I'm tired of people saying edgy. Like, they don't use that shit right, and they always just misalign or misunderstand and misconstrued what edgy actually is versus what it is not. But I will say though, Nintendo trying to make a fucking patent or something so that they can use this kind of loading screen of teleporting, that's fucking stupid. That's downright slow-minded, very slow-minded. Let me see if I can call them. Oh, you're all the way over there? Come on now. I do love the callbacks. Minshi instead of Minish. But I feel like at that point, you should have just called it Minish Woods. Like, it'd just be cool. I will say that's an aspect of Breath of the Wild I really wish they did utilize, is bringing the Minish, because Breath of the Wild really had that not only was it being The Legend of Zelda NES, but like expansive to the point where your basic attacks is just spamming, you know, spamming. Granted, the combat isn't that great. It's not. It's creative, but that doesn't mean that it's great. It means you have to fucking think. It means you have to be experimentative. And it's just like one of those things where people in the NES game, they found out how to, like, I think make bomb arrows, which, you know, I've yet to really put time into the first Legend of Zelda game to really know how that works or care for how that works. So I don't know, I guess they kind of went with that aspect, especially since the fact that people definitely want to play that ROM of that NES Breath of the Wild that I think was shown off officially, or maybe there was like a leak, maybe there wasn't. I don't know. And then even when it came down to the fan game of that, then it's like, I think it got DMCA'd. People were like, what the fuck, Nintendo? Like, you're not doing anything with it. And not only that, but it's not even hurting your sales. It's probably going to make people want to buy the game more, which is always the argument, which they're basically right, to be honest. But, yeah. Combat in this game and Breath of the Wild could have been more. And I've definitely played mods like Breath of the Wild Dark Army Resurrection, where the combat feels good. And not only does the combat feel good, like it had the whole level progressive system where I don't know, because the game is meant for like hardcore type stuff, and not only that, but the game actually felt like the NES Zelda, where you go to different areas and then you go to this screen of the map and then you have the enemies just pop out of nowhere. Like, nothing feels more good and terrifying at the same time than when you're fucking up a Lionel. You're about to kill it, and then you look to the left of you and then another Lionel spawns up, but like, because it's a mod and there's all free range there, it's a Malice Lionel who's a stall Lionel, basically a skeletal Lionel that has Malice and is stronger than the current Lionel that I'm facing, which was like the red Lionel. And man, that was I definitely died, but I did ultimately keep trying. I came back to it over and over because, you know, I would save beforehand, and there was like, it felt tense, like fighting in that way. And then it felt classic because it's just the regular Zelda, you know? Or OG Zelda, I should say. And speaking of Master Koga, man, I kind of wish he had more, you know? Ouch. I genuinely wish he had more. And then not only that, but it was just, they're like, I remember seeing a video where someone's like, oh man, notice how Master Koga is going up. That means the next game we're going to space. And it's just, they're like, obviously that's not happening. And I don't say that because of the fact that they're denying DLC. I genuinely feel as though they are going to release DLC in some way, shape, or form. Because it's just, like, look, Nintendo has been denying and debunking rumors. Or at least, I can't really say debunking, because they just deny shit and turn stuff down. Turn a lot of stuff down. But, they've just been denying a whole bunch of stuff. So it's like, any rumors, any sort of leaks, anything, like, you can show a leak right in front of the motherfucker's face. Like, when it comes down to the Switch successor, which I still don't know why people call it Switch Pro or Switch 2. Like, just call it the Switch successor. Like, come on now. Like, they've been calling it the sequel to The Legend of Breath of the Wild for a reason. But yeah, and it's just that, like, you have people coming in and saying, yeah, we saw it. And those people just so happen to be people that need to see it, need to be able to view it, so then they can make games for it. And actually have that, yeah, this shit's worth it, right? Type of vibe, you know? But, I don't know. I just find it really, weird that they mentioned that. It's like, oh no, we're not gonna have DLC. I was like, okay. But on back to my point about the whole Master Koga. Like, Master Koga, I saw a video where someone said Master Koga had more of a reason of being a villain versus Ganondorf, and I definitely find that true. This Ganondorf has been a fucking joke. He's badass, but a fucking joke. Like, all of his spiels of Demon King Ganondorf, and just alone having Demon King Ganondorf be a thing, or his title card, once it's just normal Ganondorf. It should have just been Menace King Ganondorf or something, or be like Phantom Menace. They could have had a Star Wars reference right there, but it could have been like the Gerudo Menace Ganondorf, you know? And then when he transforms, then it would be Demon King Ganondorf. That makes sense. But the way this game was, it's just, I gotta be angry. This version of Ganondorf was definitely the definition of edgy versus all the other versions of him. Like, he had no real reason besides a king must rule after all. And it's like, okay, but why do you want to be king? Like, why are you opposing? Like, I can get it. You have these people that come from the sky and you're like questioning, only two of them? And all of a sudden we're supposed to, you know, take their side. We're supposed to just believe them. But I don't know. Because it's just like, clearly the Gerudo were allowed to probably like roam the lands or whatever, because it's like when you look at the map of Breath of the Wild, it's like, wow, look at all this area, but everyone in Gerudo just stays in wrong town. Damn, this shit's bigger than Gerudo town. Like, why would you want to stay and live here? Like, I can get certain people that want to keep that tradition and just live here, but like, why? Like, goddamn, it just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I guess you can count like the little oasis, but just like, I don't know. I feel like 10,000 years ago, this oasis was like just a puddle, maybe. Barely any trees. There was definitely no bazaar there. And even then, it's just, maybe this area was even smaller. I don't know. Maybe it was bigger. Who knows? But like, this Gerudo area village versus Ocarina of Time, where the Gerudo village is built into the mountain itself, and well, to an extent, kind of like that. And they've developed themselves where it's like, you know, they clearly live in stones and bricks and whatnot. And then you have like Twilight Princess, where there's just nothing. There's absolutely nothing. And since that is technically like a sequel story to Ocarina of Time, and ooh, dude, we didn't really see much in Wind Waker. I think because I know I saw, I think his name is Jesus, the dude that has Boundary Break. And then he mentioned how you can kind of see a little bit of Gerudo Desert or something. I don't know. I watched that video like a week ago. But besides that, it's like, there just should have been more when it comes down to Gerudo Desert. But at the same time, I guess you could say because it has that emptiness, could have been definitely a justification on why Ganondorf wanted to escape all of this. Like there's more sand than there is man-made shit. But when you go to Hyrule, the rest of Hyrule, it's like, wow, you have more. Even though you can say, oh, well, what about the Rito? They live here and they're just fine. It's like, they're fucking birds. Of course they're fine. But they also live in the cold. They are fine. They are birds. Birds can live in the cold to a certain extent. And given the fact that they all live here, and even when it's cold here, it's just like, they just live in fucking, they sleep in not cots, but hammocks. And even then, they could just go, they can fly anywhere they want over here. And then you have all the mountain areas for the Gorons. I'm pretty sure they're content. You have all the Koroks just within the forest. They're content. You have all of the Hylians just in Castle Town and such, and the actual castle, and just living off the land. And then, you know, you have Lon Lon Ranch here. They're just thriving, but at the same time, it's just like the people are so spread out, and I don't know. I feel like people need to start, like, if you're going to talk about this version of Ganondorf, actually go in depth with things. Like, what is the population of Hyrule? How much people actually live? You know, because it's just, they're like, it just doesn't feel like there's enough justification. Because it's like, even if you go into like even medieval times or whatever, it's like, oh, so many people can just live, so much people can only live in one concentrated area before it's just like, okay, we need to move somewhere else because there's too many mouths to feed, too many babies, too many old people, all that kind of stuff. Like, people are going to want to venture out. So it's just, they're like, for this game, it just doesn't make sense. This version of Ganon also, I kind of like how this is like I feel like that's a windfish or whatever. It just looks like a fish. When you zoom in, you can't really see it, but I kind of like the way it looks. But there's just no justification for Ganondorf, like, at all. What, you're gonna be mad at the fish people for living in the fish? You're gonna be mad at the fish people for living in the, where the fuck is it at? Yeah, you're gonna be mad at the fish people for living right here and only here. You're gonna be mad at the Gorons for living in a climate in which no one wants to live in. You're gonna get mad at the Koroks because they're living in the forest even though they're vegetation. Like, that makes no sense. You're gonna get mad at birds because they live here. Like, come on, Ganondorf, like, actually think of a reason on why you want to rule. And even if you do want to rule, like look at all this fucking land. Like, this version of Ganondorf just makes no sense because he could live, like, if he could be the main character of this game, right, and have the same gameplay as Link, he would eventually just say, you know what the fuck was I smoking? I can roam the land. No one's fucking with me. People are actually friendly. People I meet, come encounter with, like, actually have like a self-developed character. I forgot this rock was blocking the road. Let me go a different path since I already went here. But like, it's just really stupid. There's no motivation for this Ganondorf by any means. So like, you have all this long miles and miles of landscape and you just want this one fucking castle when you could just build up your own. Like, look at the damn pavement. There's so many fucking stones and shit, except for like the area I'm about to go into because it's all dirt. But it's like, there's no reason for this dude to just be like, yeah, I'm going to kill everyone and then make monsters rise up. I mean, granted, I do understand the fact that he has Demise's spirit, soul, curse, whatever, which I still feel like this game should have been called like the Curse of the Triforce, or we should get a game that's like called the Curse of the Triforce, and then it goes into depths of the three pieces of the Triforce, and having to repeat the process over and over and over. Like, you know, it's bad when the fan theories are better than what the final outcome of the game was. At least when it comes down to like stories and stuff. Like, we all thought that Sonya was going to be Hylia. We all thought that Demon King Ganondorf was going to be like Demise's spirit or Demise himself. But that, really kind of sad about that, to be honest. Like, I really am. Like, they went with a more story heavier game, but like they dropped the ball in so much, and it saddens me. It really does. It's like when there's missed opportunities and all you are is just a fan of a game, or you're just a player of a game, and you're just there like, yeah, I'm dissatisfied with this aspect and element that should be more important to the game, but isn't. And I'm not even saying that just as far as like the story being useless because Ganondorf doesn't have motivation, but because of the potential that it has. It's just, once potential is wasted, I'm pretty sure anybody is disappointed. That's like I feel like a disappointed parent when it comes down to this game's potential and what it could have done in a lot of things, you know? Like, that's just how I feel. Like a disappointed parent. I'm just like, damn, you could have did so much more, but you just fail in a lot of aspects. Whether it be consistency of the story, the characters that know Link knowing characters, and I don't know, dialogue choices, especially dialogue choices. Like, there was too many times when I first played this game, and then it's like the second option Link would have is something and then question mark. I'm like, bro, what? But why do you have a question mark to Zelda? Or why do you have a question mark to who is Hudson? But then it's like you have to think about it in the sense where Nintendo wanted this game, same with Breath of the Wild, to be like almost like that Final Fantasy 15 when but at least with Final Fantasy 15 it was honest, where it was like, hey, this game is for longtime fans as well as new players to the series, which, you know, given the fact that I did play not all of that game up until the very final part, but like, and I enjoyed it from my first Final Fantasy game. I really did enjoy it. And for other people, it's like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, any Zelda game could be their first Zelda game. It could be the CDI games. I don't know why a person would have a CDI in 2023, but that could technically be their first Zelda game, and that could be their first their first impressions on the series as a whole. Just because for some reason some idiot decided to buy a CDI because they thought that's what they needed to do to start off playing Zelda. Because someone online told them that it has cutscenes, so obviously it meant a lot more than just the pixelated stuff, and the pixel game was just like an arcade game. I can imagine someone getting tricked that way. You're like, oh yeah, the Philips CDI games are the actual games, you know, the pixel sprites and stuff. No. That's just that's the arcade games. And you're like, oh, okay. I guess I won't play those. Yeah. Those don't matter. Don't play Legend of Zelda 1, 2, 3. Don't play those. You play the CDI games, and then you play Ocarina of Time. Like, imagine someone playing the Zelda series for the first time in that order. That is fucking bonkers. But yeah, that's like the bad aspects of Nintendo wanting Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild to be someone's first Zelda game. It just hinders on a lot. And it hinders on the story heavily. Very heavily. But as understandable as it is, kind of wish, even on, I guess you would say that's like kind of like the hand-holding effect of certain games, or the linearity of certain games done wrong, where they just will not let you play the game. They have endless prompts telling you how to do things after you've learned what the fuck to do, and they just don't let you play because they have to keep reminding you, because they're like, oh no, my dear little baby, no, my sweet baby, you cannot go forward, because I have to remind you that in order to actually walk, you have to move the left analog stick. Which is something that when it came down to me reviewing Sonic Frontiers, or at least, you know, quote unquote reviewing, where it's like I mentioned how a lot of Sonic fans, I guess, given the fact that of how I saw my girlfriend play a Sonic fan game where it gave you camera control, and then she's just like confused on that concept. And it's just like, when you have someone who mainly just plays one certain type of game or certain type of play style where the right analog stick also is your method of viewing something, it confuses the fuck out of people, because you literally have to twiddle your thumbs. And even then, it's like, I'm pretty sure there are people out there that when they play a game, instead of using both thumbs for D-pad, analog sticks, and the action buttons, aka A, B, C, A, B, Y, B, X, all that good shit, X, square, circle, triangle, they will use their pointer fingers or any of their other fingers that isn't their thumb to push the action buttons. It's like, what the fuck, man? You're holding it correctly, but for some reason, the moment you start playing the game, you want to use your pointer fingers and your middle fingers to hit the action buttons when you have your thumbs right there. And then their main thing that they're gonna say is, well, my thumb needs to be on the right analog stick, right? Motherfucker, it's your hands. You would think that would be more comfortable for you to like switch, but then if I switch, then I can't, look around. It's like, bro, that's why you either move all of your hands and stuff to what you can, It's like, yes, sometimes I will definitely move my thumb around and then I'll be jumping. Yeah, then I'll use my pointer fingers to like hit certain action buttons and stuff, but that's only because it makes sense. But if I'm like this, where it's like, oh, I'm looking, oh, I want to run, and then it's like, I want to look to the left, then I have to look to the left, then I gotta run again, and then I look all the way behind, and then like, it just doesn't make sense. I don't know how people can play in that type of aspects. Like, I can understand, it just hasn't clicked in with them, but I don't know. That's one of those things where it's just, I get people can say, oh, there's no right or wrong way to play a video game, but let's be frank, that's fucking bullshit. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been game over screens. Like, if you lose, you lost. You didn't play the game. You didn't play the game right. The only way the game is meant to be played is if you're winning, but also enjoying yourself within the process, You can be losing. That doesn't necessarily mean that you are playing the game wrong, but it just means you just got to get good, Because I know recently I found out that people really do be holding the game controllers, and they'll have their pointer fingers on the, let's say like L1 and R1, and then have their middle fingers on R2 and L2, and I'm just like, why the fuck would you do that when you just have your pointer fingers, and then you can just have your middle fingers relaxing, so you don't have a misinput on the handles of the actual controller. But like I said, different stroke for different folks. As long as they don't be on some weird shit where it's just like, I'm walking, I am running, let me remove my thumb, let me look to the left, let me put my thumb right back on the button, up, nope, let me go this way, let me climb. And then it's just, they're like, I can't, okay, he's not trying to climb. Or, well, given the fact that this kind of guides you in the direction, I'm gonna actually fight this enemy and try to... Damn, that's Zelda's. I'm pretty sure this was just a regular. And I can just desync. I'm going to fight this enemy in the way somebody else would. Which, even then, like if they didn't know about Z targeting, never mind. I forgot. These fuckers are in the way. I need to put them back. Sorry, guys. You're all fucking up my groove. Well, I saved you. Give me my reward. Tough, cheesy. Yes, I know. I'll get burned. Oh, shit. That's even cool attention to detail. It's probably like my first time seeing that shit. Because I was not expecting it. I thought she was just gonna chill the fuck out. I have no idea where any enemies are. Oh, yeah. I'll fight these enemies where it's like, oh, man, I gotta run, but I can't see them, right? Let me stop jogging. Let me run. Ouch, he just hit me. Cool. Let me keep running. Like, this is how I view people that don't use the analog stick and run it all double rainbow. Or at least one rainbow. Like, this is how an actual person would fucking play the game. This, moving and jogging, while I can just not use both thingamajigs. And then they'll just be like that. They won't even get a hit off the enemy just because they think they have to use their thumb for every fucking button. Except for like maybe the shoulder. But if you decide to not be a fucking moron and you actually move around, look around while you do stuff, you get an advantage. And then you can do this. Like, say if you wanted to actually like give them some sort of benefit of the doubt. If this fucker could stop being an ass. Okay. Ouch. Jesus fucking Christ. Just... Oh, it's dead. But yeah. And then, bada bing, bada boom. Look at you. How am I not getting run over? Animal abuse. Okay. Well, yeah. I feel like that, Bokoblin, when it charges at you, that's probably like the only time I would say they're justified in just having the sprint and not looking around where they're at. But at the same time, say if they did run away, they're like, oh no, I gotta run, and like the screen just does this. You would have got hit. They would have got hit. And then they'll say if they were on like their very last HP, they would have died. And you're like, man, then you have them being mad at the game because they didn't use the analog stick, and then they would like make like a review and be on some journalist shit where it's like the game needs better controls, this and that, whatever. It's like, bro, what do you mean? How you choose to control the controller is on you, because you are the controller. And I know there was another video on YouTube where I don't remember if the dude was critiquing Tears of the Kingdom in a way where it's like negative or whatever, but I know it came to a point where he was mentioning GTA and saying how shit controls GTA has, and I was like, how the hell does GTA have shitty controls? Maybe GTA 3, GTA Vice City, but then it's like he brings up, I think he brought up San Andreas, and I'm just like, shitty controls? How does it have shitty controls? And the only way that I can think it could have shitty controls is if you're playing on the PC version. But even then, it's like if you're playing on the PC version, I mean, you're playing on mouse and keyboard, my dude. But if you're talking about controller and it having shitty controls, my guy, maybe it's not the shitty controls, maybe you just suck at it. I mean, most of the stuff in the video I kind of like agreed upon for the most part of this video. It was just when it came down to terrible controls, and I think he mentioned how Tears of the Kingdom has terrible controls. I think. I don't remember. I don't even remember the video that he was... I don't remember the title of the video. I don't even remember the channel because I wasn't subscribed. It just came up in my recommendations. And it just amazed me because it's just like when people, especially when you can have a shit ton of views, a shit ton of takes, and those takes have no validation besides having to reevaluate who the person is and how the person plays the game. But if the information on that is very limited, it's like you can't really compare and contrast the two, you know? Like dude said GTA San Andreas or whatever, GTA games have terrible controls. Okay. How? You got a lock on button. It locks on for you. It has auto aim. Because, well, it doesn't really have auto aim. It just locks on. There's a lock on button. Or you can just shoot all willy-nilly. You won't get the best results, but I mean, that's kind of like how it was for the PS2 since the PS2 games came out first. So it's just like, that was my main line of thinking. How do you say a game with good controls has bad controls unless you, the controller, are not controlling the way it is technically intended for? Because it's just like, I'll say this. If a game, and before I even say that, because I played Dying Light, I even made a video about don't be a tryhard, be normal or something like that. Yeah, be normal, not a tryhard. I'll say this. Dying Light, when it comes down to gamepad controllers or whatever, they do not allow you to customize much, or the customizability is very limited when it comes down to the buttons in which you could probably assign, which I don't think you could assign any. But when it came down to that, the reason why they had it that way was because they had a definitive way in which they believed people should play the game. By trying to edit that, you end up misconstruing how the game actually is. And frankly, I kind of was on that aspect a little bit, just a little bit, until I got good with the controls. I got over my pride of the stuff. Instead of having the jump button be on let's say, you know, PlayStation 4 PlayStation controller, it was on X, right? I wanted the jump button to be on X, but I couldn't do that. So I sucked it up, went with the default controls, which, you know, the jump button was R1. That was weird as fuck to me. But over time, as I'm running, doing parkour stuff, I'm like, you know what? It makes a lot of sense why jumping and you're doing like parkour, and then like, okay, let's see. So it doesn't really have a good parkour system for this game, but I'm going to, let's say, vault over this. Like, say I'm running, and then I jump like that. If I had, not only am I jumping, I'm jumping and then I'm jumping and then I'm trying to look somewhere else or whatever. If I did have the button, or at least the damn, I really can't compare it. I really don't feel like booting up Dying Light 1. But basically, if I was to climb and then try to also look around, I would have eventually gotten fucked up. But because the button was assigned to like R1 and another button or another action was assigned to like X, which was my original wanting to jump button, and I was able to also have free range of the right analog stick, and I was able to jump at any moment in time. Because even now, when it comes down to me playing this game, it is kind of hard for me to actually run, jump like this, because now I have my middle finger on the run button, and then have my thumb on the right stick, and then my dang pointer finger on the jump button. It's just kind of weird that way. But I say all that to say this. People play games differently. People control stuff differently. But just because you do have the free, like, you know, certain cases, just because you have the freedom to toggle the controls, does that mean that those are the definitive controls that were set by the developers? How am I gonna do this? I don't even remember how I originally did this. I genuinely don't even want to do this one. You know what? I'll just do the easy way. Cause I know for me, right, anytime I boot up Tears of the Kingdom, a new game, in Breath of the Wild, I always have my settings for this. I always have swap jump enabled to where the jumping is assigned to B and the dash is assigned to X. I have no idea how people play with, I don't know how people play with the jump button being on X and the run button being on B. And you want to know why I don't? Because I know that this game is not GTA. If it was GTA, then they should have put, if they wanted to make the game like GTA, they could have put the attack button or the Y button. Why they didn't do that, I don't know. I don't know. Wait, no. No, it should have been that if they wanted to also be traditional, or damn, I'm trying to think. How am I trying to say this shit? If they wanted to be traditional and also be on some GTA copy, you should have had the jump button be on Y, the sprint button be on B, and then the attack should have been on A, which is how every Zelda game has kind of had it on so far, where the attack button is the A button. And then I'd be fine. I'd be like, all right, cool. You know, they wanted to be on some GTA shit. Then yeah, I'll play it in that fashion, even though I don't agree with it, but I can understand it. But no, the scheme that they have for this game is disgusting. And I would even say it is wrong. But it's not so complex that you'll just be like, I don't know how to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like even now, right? I am playing the game with the heads up display being on Pro. This is what it looked like when it's on normal. But because I don't want to view all this stuff, and I don't really need the controls being prompted to me, I already know how to rotate stuff. I already know how to reset it if I decide to. It's just, I don't need it. I mean, the map, sure. The mini map is great to have. I don't really need to care about the time. I can adapt to whatever weather patterns, and not only that, but I don't need to know about the stealth that's at the bottom, purple, moving spastically because I'm moving spastically. I don't need to know about the temperature. I don't need to know about the Sheikah sensor. I don't need to know about the fact that Ultra Hand is my assigned, you know, L button ability. I don't need to know what buttons is for the shield, the swords, the apples, or even the arrows, the bow. And even now, I do not need to know what my current HP is. So for me, and for cinematic purposes, especially for the stream, I turn that shit off. So now it's just blank. But if it was master mode, then, you know, you see that little Triforce at the bottom left. And you know what? It feels good. It genuinely feels good. And the only prompts I'll see is that. Press A to talk. Speaking of A, kind of wish the A button would also do stuff. Like I know it's for interacting, but like it's called an action button. Or at least it's assigned as action, but it's like there's barely really any actions. I mean, yeah, sure, you can like push stuff in the menu, but like, no. As far as in-game, damn it. Okay, let's see this shit. But yeah, that's just how I feel when it comes down to the controls aspect of things, and especially when it comes down to new players playing this for the first time, new people for the like look at this. President Hudson, motherfucker, I've already did the damn quest. Why is this still an option? Like, I don't get that aspect. President Hudson is more or less a genius when it comes to making anything. Signs of all kinds, easy. You name it, he can make it. Houses, no problem. Ingenuously detailed figures? Oh yes, that too. This whole sign, by the way, is my own work. I'm nowhere nearly as skilled as President Hudson. Still, I'm happy with how it turned out. Ah, what am I doing? Blathering on. Don't worry, President Hudson. You have my full attention. Like I don't get it. And even then, it still shows up. Once you get an explanation, and once you've done the quest, remove that shit. Because you know what? You've earned, or you've progressed enough in the game to know who this dude is. And if anything, his character log will say it for you. So why is it there? It's stuff like this that the game kind of like aggravates me on, you know? Like you'll still have, oh man, let me ask this same question. Just like, I get it. It is cool because of the fact it does at least give you the option to look at the dialogue, all the dialogue that they made. But like, brother, it wasn't needed. It wasn't needed. And not only that, but like it kind of kills that vibe of, hold on. It kills that vibe of knowing that once you do something, that's it. You can't really get that experience again until after you start a new game or something. Sometimes having that feeling is good. It's like the similar feeling of being able to play the game for the first time and witnessing everything. But like, because they don't do that, it kind of like kills the consistency for it. I swear, consistency is going to be the most worded thing in this stream. But got my hoe, and I'm ready to go. Where was I going? But I'm trying to think. There was more that I was saying. I know I just went over players having different controller experiences when how they control the controller and how they handle it with their hands. Let me actually get some of this. And how certain people can be really, really dumb when it comes down to it. And by no means do I mean dumb in a way of, oh, well, what about the people who don't hold normal controllers? That's obviously not for them. They already have it bad enough. They don't need to be talking down to. And nor would I do that. Because it wouldn't make any sense. Why would I do that? I mean, it's very unfortunate that they can't hold a normal controller, but for the people that can, there should be no reason why they play as if like their pointer fingers have to do everything when they have their thumb right there. Unless they're trying to do stuff in sync with each other to make it flow more. Like how I can turn the camera and then also hit the horse while looking at this giant behemoth of a man. Damn. I wish he turned faster. I feel like I would have hit him in the eye. But I don't know. I feel like I talked about the Ganondorf and how he was all poopy more than enough. I don't know. Like there was something that I wanted to say. But I know there is certain things about the game that I find questionable. Like a lot of things that I find questionable. And since I'm by pen and I haven't done this quest yet, another thing about the aspect of expanding on top of Breath of the Wild is the fact that it's like Breath of the Wild, when people got into the game like people who know how to like modify and view codings and stuff like that, they mentioned how the game had some I think this was the case where the game had certain limits, right? So there's a mod called Second Wind, Breath of the Wild, where they were able to bring in scrapped ideas and bring in new things like the dongos, the rats, other features, right? So my thing is not only that, but like I know a lot of people that probably watch like a lot of Boundary Break like videos know that the map for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom that work the same. They have different squares, like different square miles. Like say this is a little square, and then over here is its own square, and over here is its own square, and you can only fill up so many things within one square, right? And you can only have so much of, like, let's say Link is his own character. He is the limit. There's only one player limit, right? There is no two player. There is no dual players or whatever have you. So when it comes down to Pen, right? Pen most likely and probably literally replaced Cass. And not because of the fact that, oh, well, they're two big birds. They're kind of have the same build. No, it's more than just that. It's more along the lines of Cass was his own unique character, just like anybody else. But because Nintendo was going off of a limit, they had to scrap certain characters, certain creatures. Like, I'm about to go into the cold area, right? For the most part, the cold area has mooses, snow foxes, snow wolves, but they don't have, okay, ignore all of this thingamabobs, but they do not have the rhinos anymore. And it was crazy because it was like someone, like, I decided to do like a Reddit post or whatever, or comment on some Reddit post, and then like I guess it was people that were basically saying the things that they missed in Breath of the Wild, like different items, which even the items itself, they already expanded what else they could have put into the game, especially when it comes down to the unique count. But because it's on the Switch, a very, very underpowered fucking system, they could only do so damn much. So some idiot basically said, no, they removed the rhinos from the game because if you killed them, they knew that players were going to kill the rhinos and steal their horns because the fuse system, right? Which I'm just there like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Out of all these motherfucking items in this game, there are no animal horns that you can fucking take. There are no animal horns. There are no animal pieces that you can fuse or even collect. All of these items, all these materials are strictly from monsters. If I go to the damn compendium and then I look up all these if I look up all the creatures, right? The water buffalo has horns. What are the recoverable materials? Meat, and only meat. There is no horn system for animals. It's like what? You can't, it just doesn't make any sense. Otherwise, you could kill a whole bunch of mountain bucks, take their antlers. You could, well, no, you can't kill those. What else is there? I really didn't get much. But all that just to say, whoever that person was, I do not remember, but you're a fucking idiot. And you probably did not look into any insight. And you really thought Nintendo would think or Nintendo would care about some sort of controversy about fucking rhinos getting their horns taken from them, as if this game takes place in real life. It just doesn't make sense. Like, if it was a company like Sony, maybe even Microsoft, then I would kind of understand. But it's Nintendo. Nintendo's not thinking that deep about shit. Like, it wouldn't help in any way, shape, or form. I don't know why I'm skipping all this. This is the first time I've seen this dialogue. But for the most part, it's just they're like, nah. The real reason why rhinos and certain other creatures and certain other weapons aren't in the game, and not only just weapons, but just certain items or certain shit in general aren't in the game, is because if I wanted to, I could fuse this fucker to this torch, which is Zelda's torch. But obviously I can't right now because it's not mine. Like, that's the only reason why. They increased the limit on how much shit they can put inside this game. And clearly it's either at its limit, which I doubt it, or it's just they could have added a lot of stuff, but it would have broke things. Because reminder, the Nintendo Switch is working on 2015 hardware. 2015, maybe even 2013 hardware. Who knows? Whenever that Tegra X1 chip was fucking made, this is a goddamn Nvidia Shield TV. Like, that's all this is. So I don't know why people are so shocked and baffled. Like, oh man, that's terrible. Like, no. And not only that, but like, once you add in the inclusion of the sky and even the depths, and frankly, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the depths and the enemy type for them are the reasons why we do not have like golden enemies. I understand that golden enemies were just a master mode thing for Breath of the Wild, but I genuinely feel like maybe they took the golden enemies from Breath of the Wild, but like, what am I trying to say? But they kind of nerfed them. So obviously the regeneration is no longer there, which even people who mod Tears of the Kingdom and Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, specifically Breath of the Wild, have yet to find out how they got the regenerating health to work in the game, which is so fucking baffling. That game came out in 2017 and people are still trying to figure out how to, well, at least, you know, they're not trying to figure out, maybe they are, but people don't know how Nintendo implemented the regenerative health. Like, I think they know the perimeter or the line of code that they have, but like, they never got it to work with Tears of the Kingdom, or maybe like certain mods in Breath of the Wild, which is crazy. And I don't mean that in a way of to demean people, but like, it's just that sort of fascination intrigues me. But I know it's probably going to be like another 10 years until the Breath of the Wild decomp, which does exist, and I think it's at like 12%. Like, it does make me hope that when it comes down to that decomp, and once the decomp is done, it just, well, one, besides the fact that it's definitely going to have its own PC port, the possibilities are just fucking endless, man. And that's what this game feels like a shit ton of endless possibilities. And also another reason why the Wizrobes don't have their actual magic wands, which is like kind of weird in that consistency, because it's like, why do they just have yeah, it's like, it doesn't make sense why the Wizrobes would just have the Zonite rod, and then they're just like, oh, let me just slap a damn gem on it. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Or not necessarily magic rods, because there are magic rods in the game. They just don't have the actual elemental thingamabob. Like, you have to put an elemental thing on top of it, which the end result would still look like how this Zonite with the Topaz gem has. Like, it won't look any unique, which is probably just to cut corners and not really put so much into it, which is sad because there's a lot that they, I guess you could say, scrapped from Breath of the Wild that should still technically be in this game, whether it be animals, weapons, bows, equipment, shields, all the good stuff. Sequel be damned. There are just certain aspects that should still stay and be maintained. And not only that, but it's just, I don't know, I feel like it's lazy as fuck. I get it. We have a whole nother map. And like a whole nother map in 5%. Whole bunch of items. Unique weapon combinations, shield combinations. I kind of wish there were bow combinations. But like, the thing I miss is you get so much fucking arrows in this goddamn game. It's fucking ridiculous. It's like, if you wanted to, you could have a whole build where, I was about to call him Zelda, but Link just is an archman, a sharpshooter, all that stuff. You got all these new outfits, but then you have different outfits from the Breath of the Wild that are gone. And imagine you wanting like the Gerudo mask, but no, it got replaced for the well-worn hairband. Like, just imagine that. People are probably like pissed about that shit. Or because you have the Hylian hood having its second state, which I don't know if that, well, yes, it does count as a new outfit, because you can technically buy another Hylian hood and it won't be down, it will be up. And you know, the glide tights are pretty cool. I kind of hate the way the legs are, but it's tight. It's meant to be that way. And then, as well as the tunic of the depths, the trousers, the charged outfit, the frostbite outfit, the Yiga clan, the masks for the sages, the Zonite stuff, this abomination. It's like, I don't know, man. All I'm saying is, oh yeah, and not only that, but also the amiibo stuff, the slots that are technically inside of Breath of the Wild, but are only attainable via amiibo, which is fucking stupid, are now within this game. So not only did Breath of the Wild have its limit for people who have the base game and all that stuff, but when they increased the limit because of the amiibo and all the other more amiibos would work, it's like, just imagine how this game had to do it, where it's like, we need to put all the amiibo outfits into this game's base game so people can have it without having amiibos. And the amiibo would just be like, hey, if you just want the outfit quick, cool, here you go. But now, because you have all those amiibos, which are like, one amiibo is three a piece. You have so many fucking trousers that look the fucking same. So many fucking links from fucking Ocarina of Time that look the same, just different swiped of hairs. All that stuff, all look the same. All taking up slots from like the Gerudo clothes. I don't really know any other clothes that really got, shafted. I just know the Gerudos definitely did. Not that I'm saying that I'm just like, oh, I really like that outfit. I'm just like, I'm kind of indifferent for it, kind of neutral about it. But it's just, it shows that Nintendo lacks that kind of push. Even when they pushed Breath of the Wild to what the hell it ultimately became, pushed Tears of the Kingdom to what it ultimately became, they still limited themselves to stuff. And frankly, that limitation is most definitely going to be one, cartridges. Cartridges were the worst decisions. But this game itself is like, let's say at max, I think 15 gigabytes. I think it was like 15 gigabytes at first, and then it changed. Or at least it was like 18 and then it changed to 15, or then like 13 or something like that. And it's just, they're like, dude, like you had all these people talking about, oh my god, what's the size of Tears of the Kingdom gonna be? And it's just like, bro, this shit's only half the size of The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3, which I'm not saying to shit on The Witcher 3 or anything, but it's just, they're like, The Witcher 3 as a game, and not only just The Witcher 3, the complete edition of The Witcher 3, all within a fucking cartridge. Not, oh, you have to have the cartridge and then you just get your download code that way or whatever. No, the whole 32 gigabyte cartridge. Holy shit. I'm not saying that we need to go to a disc-based thing. I'm just saying, motherfucker, if you're gonna do cartridges, go big or go home. And even then, it's just like, I don't know, man. I feel like that's just lazy as shit. Like, they could have done more, but now it's like, oh, because cartridges cost so much. It's like, bro, like, that was the reason why y'all stopped using them fuckers. That's the reason why you ended up losing people when it came down to the SNES. It's the reason why you fucked over PlayStation for the Philips, which was the worst fucking decision you can make. So now I have to worry because maybe Nintendo's gonna make that same mistake where they try to go back to something, or no, they try to go and do something new, and then they just fuck it up. And then they're just like, yeah, well, we still beat the Dreamcast, even though we had the CDI games, because in 64 they just went back to, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that's literally what they did. Went back to the cartridge-based stuff, the N64, which even when it came down to that, holy fuck, them cartridges were screaming. They were screaming. They were in pain. They were like, bro, what the fuck? like I said, Donkey Kong 64 was my game that I could save. Not only could you save with the cartridge, you also need the expansion pack, which was just 8 megabytes, which, you know, nowadays sounds like nothing, but back then, holy fuck. 8 megabytes? You wish your floppy disk could have 8 megabytes. That's how wild it is, where the cartridge space is 64 megabytes. Mario 64 in itself was only 8 megabytes. That's fucking wild, right? Meanwhile, this whole entire game, 15 to 13 megabytes. And the only reason why it looks so good on my end is because I backed up my cartridge and decided to play via emulation. And now I have 60 FPS, native 1080p. There's no dynamic fucking changing of resolution or anything. It's just, and frankly, I'll definitely say the stream is definitely not doing it any justice, even though I do have the bitrate at 13,000, which is really good. It just saddens me because Nintendo could do so much more. And even when they do have that more, they still slack the fuck off. And it's like, when it came down to Breath of the Wild, the one thing that everyone always fucking hated was the fucking climbing. And then having to do it in the rain. Oh, look at that. It's starting to fucking rain. Goddamn. Very, very convenient to the story. So, Miyamoto, and all his interrupting of production of fucking games glory, was like, oh, you put a sword into the mountain because he got tired of climbing, and not only that, but like it was raining. That's not realistic. I like realism when it comes down to Zelda games. the fantasy, medieval, and science fiction-y, futuresque, but still in the past fantasy game. Castle is literally lifted up because of a fucking pillar from beneath the earth. But climbing up a mountain, stabbing a sword into said mountain would be unrealistic. Yes, that's the line you will not cross at all. And not only that, but given the durability system, you know damn well that they would have been like, you know what? We're gonna make it so that once you stab a sword or whatever onto that mountain that's raining or whatever, you lose that weapon. You can't get that weapon. You can't get that weapon, and it will break eventually if you hang on for way too long. And not only that, but like they could have implemented something into the climbing where, as unrealistic as it would have been fun as fuck. Say you're climbing, right? You're climbing, and then you slip, but then you put the dagger on. Boom. Say Link stands on top of it, because I think that's what they originally intended it. Say Link jumps up, and then basically it acts like a spring, and you get a little bit of height, and then bam, you're on top of it. Like you stab it into the joint. Let's say like so. Then you're on top of it. Actually, you know what I can do? I can use Zonai thingamabob to explain it. I'll use this and this to explain what I'm trying to do. Okay, you can go fuck yourself. You're just gonna keep doing that. So imagine you stab your sword inside the thing, right? Say this is like the hilt of the sword or the handle of the spear or whatever, right? And say Link slipped and he got tired, so now he's standing on his sword and his sword is about to break, and he's not going to be able to get the sword back anyways. So what do you do while it is raining and you're trying to get to the tippy top of this mountain? You jump, and then you just get a little bit of boost. Maybe not that much, but let's say like 5 jumps worth. Link's jump is so damn small. He is not making it in the NBA. I can promise you that. It is way small, and 5 jumps would have been just enough to satisfy people, and then also make people make use of all these fucking swords. And, well, I need to stop saying swords. All these damn weapons. Like, I don't get that. Nintendo could have did that really well. But because Miyamoto decided, no, that's not realistic. Or, I don't want that. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Whatever the fuck Miyamoto be smoking. Because, man, he definitely will interrupt some shit when it comes down to development. I mean, all I know is when it came down to Super Mario Wonder, I don't know who the hell was the dude with the big enough balls to basically say, shut the fuck up, Miyamoto, we're making this fucking game. And we're putting a fucking elephant in it. I don't care that you can see his dump trunk when he goes inside of doors as an elephant. We don't care. We're making it. Like, whoever the fuck that person was who put a goddamn elephant, a motherfucking elephant, on Mario and all that wowie zowie shit. Round of applause for them, because they did what people should have been doing from the get-go, and by telling Miyamoto to fuck off just a little bit more. I get it. It is your baby. It is this and that, whatever. But unless you're making your own fucking game, Mr. Producer, executive producer who produces the game out to the public and shit, shut the fuck up. Like, actually shut the fuck up. If people are trying to make a fun experience for players, shut the fuck up and go kick rocks. That's just how I feel about it, you know? Now, could it just be everybody over speculating? Maybe Miyamoto wasn't really all that bad. Yeah, sure, cool. But then again, it still doesn't stop the fact of who is to blame for certain aspects like that. Where it's just like, oh, we have good ideas, but like we can't do them for whatever reason. And then it's just, I don't know. Because I know it's like, yeah, it is, frankly, it's really easy to shit on Miyamoto. I'm going to be completely honest. But like, I don't know, man. As far as he goes, whoops. As far as he goes, he just needs to not be an interloper to things. If he wants to make his own fucking game, fucking make it, man. Because it's like, there's been enough interviews where, I mean, yeah, sure, I guess you could say this is like headline, kind of like knowledge. And by knowledge, I mean like headline knowledge. I mean like in a way where it's like, it's like hearsay or something, right? Where people hear shit where it's like Miyamoto says that he doesn't play games unless he makes them, which is like, you know, that paints him as a narcissist. Or where it's just they're like, he questions why modern games are popular in A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or he doesn't get why people like a game that wasn't made by him, or something to that extent. That sounds like a shit ton of journalistic headlines that have been made over the years, especially when it comes down to like Paper Mario shit or Mario Story RPG, which I kind of mixed on the bag when it comes down to the story aspects on that shit. It's like, yeah, sure, you can say, oh, well, Mario movie. It's like, bro, that's a fucking movie. Of course that shit's gonna have a fucking story. Hell, the fucking original anime Mario movie had a fucking story. So I'm just there like, what's the argument? You know, movies have stories and video games can live without a story. Granted, if the game was originally called Mario Story RPG, I feel like going about it in that type of way, shape, or fashion is the way to go. Not the bullshit. But yeah, Miyamoto bad. He poopy. Damn, I was like one Zonite away from having 69. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not necessarily saying fuck the dude or anything, but it's just, jeez, you couldn't just chill the fuck out for like 5 fucking minutes and then just see the end product. Because it's like, when you hear stuff like that, where Miyamoto's like, no, I don't want that because me, or whatever, or, oh, my characters don't do that, or some shit like that, right? It's like, you start thinking, what happened to the days where Donkey Kong 64 was being made? Miyamoto saw that Rare gave guns to the people that he calls his babies, or, you know, Donkey Kong is my friend, this and that, whatever, to the point where it's just, they're like, when it came down to Donkey Kong Country Returns, and then it's like, Miyamoto, the guy who played as Donkey Kong, and then I think he was like crouching, and he just kept crouching down, noticing the fact that like there was dust effects, and then was like, you know what, whenever he crouches down, make him like blow at the dirt or something to show off the physics, or not to necessarily show off the physics, but just to have it, you know? Whatever happened to that creativity to do something different? And when it comes down to Donkey Kong 64, to where you changed it from guns to like animalistic guns, you know, or I guess you could say weaponry, where you have Donkey Kong wielding the coconut gun, fires and spurts, and then you have Diddy Kong with his pistols out, and then you have Lanky Kong with his little shooter thingy, dart gun or whatever, and then you have what's her name, Tiny Kong with her crossbow. Then you have definitely Chunky Kong. Instead of having a damn bazooka, he shoots out pineapples. Like what? And even with Crusher actually had the closest thing to an actual weapon, which, you know, given the fact that it was only via multiplayer or whatever, where he shot like a cannon that would shoot out oranges, but the oranges in Donkey Kong 64 would explode, you know? Oh wait, I don't have that. Like, I don't get that. Whatever happened to that creativity, man? Where instead of just denying something because you want to deny it, why not come up with something interesting, man? Like, you have these people who are already come up with something interesting, and you're just like, no, I don't like it, so I'm going to ruin it by saying you can't do this. And it's just like, I don't care how high on the payroll or how highly respected you are, I can still say you're a fucking idiot if it comes down to you denying ideas that can make something fun, which video games are supposed to be doing. It's like, if a person's not going to do it, then they're not going to do it. Not because one person doesn't like it, so everyone has to suffer. Like, that doesn't make any sense, especially when it's a good thing. I can understand a bad thing and then everyone has to suffer just so people can learn, and everyone can also correct people so that issue doesn't happen next time, which frankly, I've heard enough people, especially during my military experience, where people say, man, I hate when one person does some dumb shit and then we all gotta be punished. Like, no shit, motherfucker. Maybe if you told that dumb fuck that what they're doing is wrong and not supposed to be doing what the fuck they fucking did, maybe we wouldn't be getting punished as a whole. That's the lesson being told. So I don't know why the fuck you're complaining when you could have spent your time, instead of complaining, telling that motherfucker, this is wrong, this is bad, don't do that. Okay, and then we just have a normal fucking day. But no, Miyamoto's like the opposite of that, where you do something good, or, you know, he's supposedly the opposite of that. You do something good, good ideas, and he's like, nope, you're fucking up with my brand. How dare you? How dare you make something better than me? You know, it just sounds like something of that sort, you know, where it's just like jealousy by denial because you didn't think of the idea, more than just, oh, these characters would never do that. What the fuck you mean? What? In what iteration? What do you mean that they would not do anything like this? I don't know. It just really sucks. But yeah, I do wish there were more. I definitely wish there were classic items though. Like, the one thing about, I guess you could say, like, No More Heroes, Travis Strikes Again, kind of like spoiled me, even though I never played that game, but it kind of like spoiled me, like the post game, not post game, but the post credits, because before No More Heroes 3 was even announced, there was only Travis Strikes Again, a game that, one, is canon to the actual fucking series, which is like, okay, you kind of like alienate a lot of players because of that. What's this called? Backtrack? Oh, I fucking love it. But you alienate players who don't want to play that kind of game that's like some arcadey type vibe and top down, and it's not like how the Normal Heroes 1 or 2 was like, by any means, besides characters and maybe like some story beats. So when that game finished, when people finished the game, the post-credit scene wasn't a scene, it was just like a debug type map where it's just white. You got to run around in the classic No More Heroes kind of like vibe, but you know, that was just the beta, like early debug 1-level cube map of No More Heroes 3. And if I remember correctly, I think people said that like you could attack like a test dummy and stuff like that. And then maybe like eventually it would be like Travis would get meta and talk to you and go all fourth wall breaking, be like, hey, see you in the next game, blah blah blah. And that's when people are like, oh my god, does this mean the No More Heroes 3 is gonna be a thing? So it's like stuff like that is cool, where you can have callbacks and whatnot. But I have no idea what point I was trying to make. I just kind of like got nostalgic talking about No More Heroes. But yeah, I feel like when it came to the classic items stuff and how I wish that was a thing, because it's like when Breath of the Wild came and it was all said and done, I'm just there like, why can't people ever make games where you give like a tiny taste of what could have been when it comes down to scrap content, like a scrap content update? Here's all the shit that was going to be in the game but isn't, and then you just have a rum in which you can just indulge yourself to, like where the hook shot could have been a thing, or the grappling hook from Wind Waker, you know, before you get the hook shot. Granted, you know, there's not much to really do grappling hook stuff, and even if you were to try to be on some Spider-Man type shit, it's like everything's too small and grounded. And speaking of small and grounded, these fucking trees are small as shit, or at least they feel like it. I don't know. But yeah, it'd be cool to have that. Have a room where it's a room where the gameplay is completely different, completely removed from what you know from the actual game that you're supposed to be playing or whatever. But speaking of that, as far as continuing forward, I know they keep saying that, oh, we're not going to release DLC, but they'll sure release a shit ton of fucking updates, patching glitches and shit. I'm pretty sure they are. Or it might be like one of those things where almost like that shitty ass Last of Us 2 remaster, which is like really shallow and money hungry as fuck. And yeah, I do get it. The remastered version of The Last of Us 1 happened like 9 months and was on the PS4 after release for PS3. PS3 to PS4 was a huge fucking step up. I don't see anybody playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey on a PS3, a fucking device which the PS3 was a fucking nightmare to work for, which is why we still don't have Metal Gear Solid 4 on PS4 or even PS5 without that shitty ass PlayStation Plus shit, which even then I don't even know if it's on that. But yeah, it's just wow. I don't know, because at least when it came down to Xbox, I think I already talked to her. Yeah, she just looks for romance underneath the cherry blossom tree, or the sakura tree. But yeah, at least when it came down to the 360, it had the same kind of infrastructure as the original Xbox, as well as a little bit hints and pieces for Windows. You know, so it's like, oh, we make something for Xbox 360. Oh, we can make a PC port easily, no problem. Just optimize that shit, because it's Microsoft. Like people might shit on Microsoft, but I feel like people forget that you're not supposed to be shitting on Microsoft. You're supposed to be shitting on Xbox. If you shitted on Microsoft, you would be forgetting the fact that NASA, all of America, all of the games that you fucking play are used most of the times, if not 99% of the time, with Microsoft. Hell, all your Disney movies that you love as a kid, Microsoft. All your Flash animations and whatever, Microsoft. It's like you can't shit on Microsoft. You just can't. It's like you can be like, oh, they didn't make any earnings, this and that, whatever. Like, bro, it's Microsoft. Motherfuckers are funded or funding NASA or whatever, the government, all that shit. Like Microsoft Edge, like the number one most used thing when it comes down to military or whatever. It's like you can't shit on that. You just can't. It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. People are just really dumb with their hot takes, and they don't even know it's hot takes. It's like, well, you know, The Last of Us 2 remastered is definitely worth the $70, even though I already paid for it $60, and I don't mind paying for the $10 upgrade. It's just like, bro, the only thing that should be $10 is the DLC for it. That's it. It doesn't need an upgrade when it's still like, okay, so as long as it has 60 FPS and a patch that makes it stable, fluid 60, add some ray tracing for free, and that's all it needs. Like, there's no reason to really be like, oh, well, now we're gonna have a version where it's like $70, unless you just do it for money reasons, which obviously it is, especially when it comes down to the HBO show, and they're like, oh man, you know, it's like, I feel like you have more people replaying the game that he already played and watched the show versus new people coming in. But we'll never get those numbers because Sony definitely loves to fucking lie when it comes down to numbers and shit. Talking about some fucking the year Smash Bros came out, those fucking Nintendo sales were low as shit. Like, the fuck are you smoking, my guy? But yeah, it's just, oh my god, it's just really dumb. And then it's like the same people that are like, oh no, Microsoft's gonna make Xbox gonna make a monopoly if they buy Call of Duty and all that stuff, Blizzard, Activision and shit, or whatever have you, when they like to flex that their chart was always on top of the competition. And then now you have that European stuff where they're getting sued like $1 billion or something because, well, they fucked up. They decided to increase prices for the people in Europe and shit. And it's like, wow, maybe doing scummy practices isn't so good. And now they're getting sued $1 billion for it. You love to see it. But on to what I was saying. It just feels as though that the hardware is holding Nintendo back. Because while you can see the stream and be like, wow, this shit is so fluid. Even someone in the last stream was like, yo, why is it so fluid? And then he was like, oh wait, you're hacking. I was just like, it's just hilarious. Not that, you know, they call it hacking or anything. It's just like, to have people be amazed on how fluid this game can and should be running versus what it actually runs like and looks like. It's sad. because Nintendo could get on these levels. Hell, it wouldn't surprise me if like in a year or 2 or maybe 5, where the PS4, when you put like jailbreak it, you can run Linux. What happens when you can finally run Linux? Is that a Goron running away from fucking bokoblins, an enemy they could easily fuck up? But yeah, if PS5 gets the availability to run the Linux kernel or whatever the fuck makes the PS4 allow to run it outside of jailbreaking, the possibilities that PS5 will be able to run this game and Breath of the Wild, maybe not 60 FPS, but at least at a stable 30, maybe a good resolution, maybe a stable 720 instead of dropping down to like 540, 480, having crumbly garbage looking, I guess, textures and screen resolution and stuff. It's like the possibilities are there, man. And Nintendo just needs to really upgrade their hardware. That's the only thing really holding them back, as well as all the other stuff I said would come down to Miyamoto and interlopers like butting in when they don't really need to and they don't really add anymore. But yeah, I don't, my throat kind of hurts because I've been talking this whole entire time. Feels good to be able to play this game and talk, but I feel like if I do just play the game and I talk and add commentary, like if it's commentary where it's involved with the game and the gameplay, yeah, it's cool. But like, I've just been roaming around not doing a goddamn thing and just getting my little afterthoughts. I mean, I did say I was going to do that, but for the most part, I don't really have too much more to add outside of I know the last thing I mentioned was the shitty ass remaster that was a waste of space and really shows that Naughty Dog is really dead. And you know, fans are making PC ports for Jack 2. Oh shit, I didn't even notice that dude. I killed him before he even spawned in. That's crazy. But yeah, I don't think I have much. As far as a new Zelda game, I do remember I was going to go into that. I really wish and hope they go for a Skyward Sword kind of vibe. I know that's probably like the most weirdest thing to say, but like, take this, right? Say you have Ocarina of Time. You have the map, you have the story, all that stuff. But it plays like Skyward Sword. Say you have Twilight Princess. Story, map, but it plays like Twilight, not like Skyward Sword. I think it can work. I really do. Hell, even say, and not like just strictly Skyward Sword. Clearly you will have like Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild stuff. Like say you're in the Sky Isles, the Skylands. And then it plays like Skyward Sword. And a hybrid of Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. You know? Because frankly, the only thing I can say that was weird and off-putting to me about Skyward Sword is how big Link felt. Like, and I say this because it felt like the screen or the camera would just be up close to him. Like the way the camera is now, it feels good, but like Skyward Sword's camera was like this, well, you got to see all of the character, you know. This has like a balance to it. But yeah, Skyward Sword, you can do this little hang glider thing or whatever. You're in these islands and stuff. And not only that, but You do have freedom, not as much freedom, but instead of it being open world, it'd be like loading zones, like almost like how Age of Calamity had it. Because I know Age of Calamity would be like, oh, here's a mission, you are going to be in this. Like the first section of the game starts out here because you have to defend Hyrule Town, Castle Town. You start out here fighting, you know. And there was like a lot more structures and stuff, like an open map like that, where the field will literally just be that, because the fields will be the most open because it just deserves to be. Like Ocarina of Time, motherfucking Twilight Princess, Hyrule Field was just open, you know. And then you can have like your little loading zone where it's like Hyrule Field, Hyrule Field Center, Hyrule Field West, Hyrule Field South, Hyrule Field East, and then, you know, there is no North because North would just be Castletown. And then you can roam around Castletown. No fixed camera shit, no isometric type Resident Evil style camera, nothing of that sort. Just normal Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom hybrid controlling of Link, combat, items, that whole classic era type of vibe. Because at least when it came down to Skyward Sword, to me, I would say that is like baby's first Dark Souls game, you know? Because it's a Zelda game. I'm not saying, oh, it's made for babies or it's a kid's game. There's no such thing as a fucking kid's game. If you end up just playing a game, you're just playing a fucking game. If you enjoy it, cool. Kudos to you. It might not be anybody's cup of tea. Cool. It's just like how a movie is just a movie. It's just a film. There is no, oh, well, it's caters to kids, so it's clearly a kid's movie. But like, an adult can enjoy it too. So does that mean that it's a kid's movie? You know, does it mean that that adult is a kid? You can have the most mature adult and have them watch a quote unquote kids movie and be like, wow, that was a great movie. And then a kid will be and have a whole conversation with their kid, with their son, daughter, or whatever, and be like, wow, this movie was pretty great. Yeah, I really liked it. And it's like, what the fuck? And that could be the most immature kid or the most mature kid. But it's a kid's movie, so it doesn't really matter. You know, it just sounds stupid when people say that shit. Oh, it's a kid's game. Oh, this game is made for babies. It's made for kids. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, what? And I don't even say that in the sense of, oh, I'm clearly offended. No, I just say it because it sounds stupid as hell. Like, what? It's just a film. And not only that, but like, grown-ass men and women made the fucking film. So where's your argument there? Where's the argument for all the grown-ass men that made fucking movies way back when? Like when fucking Disney was making Snow White. You know? Like, does that make any sense? Oh, it's a girls movie. But like, it was made by a whole bunch of dudes. The fuck you mean it's a girls movie? It's just a fucking movie, dude. But yeah. Damn, let me think. I just want the game, like, if they're gonna go back to the classic, just make a hybrid. Like, I'm not saying it needs to be expansive. If it is as expansive as this, yeah, I can get behind it. I know a lot of people won't, but it's just like, look, you can have a game be as expansive as this, include all the classic Zelda tropes, and they'll still never just be satisfied. I just know that's the only thing. And then there's just like, they can't come up with the actual reason as to why they're not satisfied. They're like, it's just not Ocarina of Time. It's just not Wind Waker. It's just not Twilight Princess. Because it's just not Majora's Mask. Because that's the only fucking games that they've ever played in the Zelda series. They've never played the 2D games. They've never played the 2D game. Yeah, game. And it's just, it's pathetic. To me, it's just really, really pathetic. That you can bitch and complain so much and only indulge yourself in one genre of the fucking series. Like, what? Like, I don't get it. And you're like, oh my god. And then they go to the whole, it's not a Zelda game, blah, blah, blah. Oh, we kind of wish it. Like, even back then, people were like, man, Breath of the Wild's good and all, but kind of wish they just made a new IP. You know? Which, it could have done good. It really could have. And I guess you can say people will probably compare it to like the whole Assassin's Creed Odyssey thing, where people would say it's a great game, or it's a good game, it's just not a good Assassin's Creed game. Which even there, it's just like, it is an Assassin's Creed game, because if you follow the fucking story, if you decide, like, if you don't treat it like it's a fucking anime, and all you've watched is shonen anime, and you only liked it for the action, and you never had a story heavy or story theme type anime, then you would know that there's more to medias than just the fucking action. It makes no fucking sense. Like, if you just want action, go play a fucking action game. It's only action. Just no action, just all action, no story, nothing. Just gameplay and action. Play that. But if you want to play this, anything like it, you need to learn to accept that it's doing something. Something for a reason. Otherwise, it would be fucking nothing. The game is made for a reason. Multiple reasons. You don't say a game isn't made for a reason. Like, what? But yeah, it's just Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, Age of Calamity. They are definitely Zelda games. Just because what I'm doing right now isn't something you would see in anything except maybe Wind Waker. If Wind Waker was as expansive as Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild, which frankly, I still say it is. And the only thing that really harkens it from being similar to this is the fact that it's like map by map basis, which this game does exactly that. This square map, you just don't see the squares. Just because you don't see the squares doesn't mean it's not there. But like, there's a whole bunch of water in Wind Waker. And guess what? People understood why. Because of the fucking story. And just lo and behold, the one game people are like, what the fuck is this? This is not what we wanted. This is fucking kids. This is for babies, because it looks like a cartoon because of its art style. This game looks like a cartoon because of its art style. Man, that's crazy. It's like cell shading is a choice to like either enhance the experience and also lighten the load, so you don't have to end up making your shit have a shit ton of textures to make it look so realistic. Because, you know, once we got Twilight Princess, people were definitely satisfied. They were definitely completely content with that game and never complained at all. But, you know, Ocarina of Time 0.0, 0.2. So, I don't know. People are just weird. And it's just Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, Age of Calamity is definitely just Zelda games. And I just don't get why people say they aren't. And I'm definitely a firm believer in saying that I might not agree with how Assassin's Creed has handled shit. Origins was great. Odyssey, I enjoy the game for its gameplay. Story, I understood the story, but I'm just like, damn, bro. damn. They really said there were no assassins yet until like Cassandra gave birth, and then that birth eventually led to Immunets and Bayek, you know, and then the assassins were created, but they started calling them hidden ones and shit like that. And then it became with Valhalla, which, fuck, the only thing I can say for that game is the fact that it was dragged out, and as good as it was when it comes down to immersion of it being big and expansive, that shit was just huge, man. Like, holy fuck. A whole bunch of space, but not enough attention to detail. But yeah, I don't know. Another gripe I definitely do have is when people will say, oh, well, Age of Calamity, that's non-canon. It's like, no. The story of it is pretty much fucking canon, set in stone. But how they handled the rest of the game and the rest of the game story, yeah, your shit is, I forgot how that shit said. Your shit is right. Your shit is, I don't fucking know. You are definitely right when it comes down to saying that how they handled it definitely made it so that the whole champions from the present day or the future come back to help the past. Yeah, that's not canon. Or if you like actually think about it, why can't it be canon? Why can't it just be a timeline split? Like, I don't know. It's like the moment Age of Calamity went off the rails, people forgot that there were timeline splits starting from Ocarina of Time. And technically, it could work. It's just, you just gotta realize that, who knows, maybe they just wanted to make another timeline. Even with this game, it's like there's inconsistencies. Nobody talks about the fucking Guardians, I think. The ancient Guardians and stuff. Nobody brings it up. It's only mentioned in like a textbook and Impa. And that is literally it. There is no more, no less. It's just, yeah. And I don't know. Given the fact that you had Pillar 1, Pillar 2, Pillar 3, Pillar 4, I have no idea how anybody's dismantling that shit. Link could not climb that shit. He could not damage that shit. Maybe the Guardians, but that's because the Guardians had to have some sort of durability because they are machines. It's called a failsafe. Obviously, the Sheikah knew, hey, if for whatever reason we need to dismantle these fuckers, don't give them the ultra pillar thick observatory durability, because that would be dumb. Doing that would probably end all of Hyrule. And it technically almost did. Why? Because of the Guardians. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know what materials they used to dismantle them, if that is the case. And even if you go with the whole, oh well, they, with the I think AJ Alnuba is saying, oh, they served their purpose and then they disappeared. Okay, where my nigga, where? Like, if you would have said they dug back underground or something, that would be way better than just they disappeared. Even if you give into the Sheikah Slate, the Purr Pad, all that shit into consideration, there is no canonical reason as to why they would just up and disappear like nothing. It makes zero fucking sense. It's lazy as shit. And they just didn't have someone who was passionate enough to go, hey, I'm going to keep track of all the story beats so we can stay consistent and not sound like fucking retards. But, you know, they just didn't. And there's no reason why. And you cannot give a reason Or at least you can't put justification, I should say. That's the right term I meant. See, that's the thing I question though. If this pillar was meant to be in the sky, how did this shit fall? Because within these pillars, they do have something that keeps it afloat. So that means it can either run out or, I don't know, something damaged it or destroyed it. Matter of fact, let me look at the top. I'm actually curious. Because depending on what the top looks like, yeah, like clearly this is a chunk that fell off from something that was even more higher up. So where's the rest of it? Unless it was part of those island, then okay, I can kind of understand it. Because, and then it's like you still have dirt or something. I have no idea how these flowers are, or any of that is survived. Like, I'm genuinely confused by that. Yeah. Like, it just doesn't make sense. How is any sort of plant life on this? Unless it's like soft dirt underneath, but you know, you have, oh, look at this ridge, which lets you know that it's just a just thick mass of brick. Not brick, but rock. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying. I was saying something along the lines of inconsistencies, but even before that, it was yeah, the whole timeline debacle. Like, you've already been through this, man. Like, granted, even in their official timeline stuff, it might not be as consistent as it should be. But sometimes it's just fans just do a way better job, you know? Because if I remember correctly, even Ubisoft or Ubisoft was like, yeah, we don't know the timeline for Assassin's Creed, and we're gonna have fans keep track of shit or something. I don't know. That was like 4 years ago. I remember hearing something to that extent. And so maybe that's just the case. And frankly, given the fact that even YouTubers who cover Zelda games were kind of like disappointed in this game because of the story, because, you know, their YouTube channel deprives of talking about story. So when you have all the story beats there, all the theories, all theorizing, all the hype, I can understand why they're disappointed. But at the same time, it's just like, there's so many damn theories, and clearly Nintendo was just going full balls to the wall when it came down to that. Because there were so many fucking theories, and frankly, I don't know where Zonai even came up to be a thing in Breath of the Wild originally. All I know was there was a tribe, which is why we have the whole, where's it at? Where's it at? Did I not get it? Oh, snaps. But like the whole barbarian outfit, you know, where it's like, oh, it resembles a ancient tribe and this and that, whatever. But then it's just, they're like, oh man, this is the Zonai. You know, maybe the Zonais were demons, this and that, whatever. Oh, because, you know, the Zonai helm, not the Zonai helm, but the barbaric helm had a skull on it. People were theory crafting on that shit. People were especially theory crafting when it came down to where you are able to obtain it. Stuff like that. And then the region of, where's it at? This whole region where it's like, oh, of the dragons, and then you have this dragon like sculpture And then you have like the other dragons and stuff, and it's cool. It's really fucking cool, and the theories are really fucking good. The theories are really fucking good, and it's good enough to the point that if we were to have a Zelda game and it just adds all the theories together, that'd be great. But the way Tears of the Kingdom is and how they handled it was, oh man, look at all these theories. They're talking about the Zonai, I'll bet. So we're gonna make a whole entire game about the Zonai, and they fucked it all up because it's just Zonai by name, shitty storytelling. No, Zonai by advertisement and marketing namesake, but in execution, really poorly thought out. Like, certain aspects were great, but it's like, bro, if y'all wanted to tell the story, you should have just did that, or just did what you did with Breath of the Wild, which frankly they did, but like not in the same way. And it's like, I don't get that. I mean, hell, my first fucking cutscene was the very last cutscene, you know? Granted, I was confused as fuck, so I didn't really understand what was going on. I just saw Zelda, and then it's just like, oh, finally, cool, I have the Master Sword. Cool. And it didn't click until I saw, like, all the cutscenes, which I eventually did kind of go in order. But, you know, I was lucky. No, I think I didn't go in order. I saw the Sonya or whatever. I think it was like Demon King Ganon. And I was like, oh shit, how the fuck did she get fucked up? I was curious. And I was also kind of like mad, because I was like, damn, I kind of wish she was more involved. Because that, you know, would have definitely helped the story, especially when it comes down to like, if she had a kid with a Zonai or not, which is why when it comes down to the ancient heroes aspects, which I still have yet to unlock, it's like, why is there a lizard dude? And granted, I'm not like everyone else where they're just like, oh, this shit looks weird, and this and it's like, bro, like, my guy, Link has literally turned into an actual furry before, like a furry soul animal. He has literally become the wolf. So it's like, I don't know why people thought that was weird. And not only that, but like he's also turned into like Zora Link, Deku Link, and then Goron Link. Like, it's not that fucking jarring to see him turn into different things, you know? But no, people are like, oh, this shit's weird. Hell, he's turned into a fucking bunny in A Link to the Past. So it's like, what the fuck? Which is probably why they had in Twilight Princess him turn into a wolf. The most dark, brooding game turns into one of the bunny's most predator. It's like, it only makes sense. But yeah. It's just weird. There's so many loose ends that don't get connected. So many threads that are just left unsung. And I'll probably use that not correctly. And it just makes me wish that they do more. And I know that I feel as though that they're just lying about the whole no DLC and stuff like that, but I really do hope that they're fucking just capping off that. Because if they're not, it's like, damn, bro. While yes, this game plays like a completed fucking game on its own merit, like Super Mario Bros. Wonder, fucking Mario Odyssey. What's some other games? You know, Nintendo fucking games that don't have updates and DLC, but like they're completed. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, even though I really wish that fucking game would get some fucking DLC so badly. or at least like a Travis Strikes Again type beta run where it's like, oh, this is what Kirby could look like if he's playing in a 3D game. You know, like an actual 3D game, not just top down or fixed camera perspective type game that it ultimately is. That'd be cool. But nah, it's just like for a completed game, that's the only thing that truly is heartbreaking about it. The fact that it's completed. It's a complete game. It's a complete package. Granted, the 1.0 version was pretty damn buggy. Well, not buggy. I can't fuck with that term. But like there are certain errors, like whenever you try to go to a place, like say I go to Castletown Prison, like it wouldn't show up on the bottom right or bottom left, whatever side it's supposed to show of the game. Shit, even that crow wasn't in Breath of the Wild, I don't think. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It's a completed game. It stands well on its own when it comes down to its 1.0 version. And that's something that I can definitely say is way more than what most games do nowadays. Because frankly, all they really did patch were glitches and just a few things here and there, like, you know, the different area title cards, title card names, as well as I don't really know, because I didn't really encounter that many things. Like, I didn't even encounter crashes when I did play this game on the actual Switch. It just was great. Yeah, sure, there was some optimization issues, like when a lot of things would go on, and then it's like, oh, it's 30 FPS, and now it's 20 again. It's like I'm playing Breath of the Wild all over again. Haha, just no shit, you're playing DLC of it, dumbass. It's like, you know, I have to say that was satire because obviously people would be like, oh, you said that it's lit, and it's like, no, I didn't. That was exaggerated voices for all the dumbasses that keep saying that shit. I don't know, man. It is definitely something that I love and will hold dear in my memories, and be happy that I was able to play this game. And it's crazy because it's like, I played this game when I was at NTC, which is basically the National Training Center. And I was like, wow, I'm playing this game. So once the game was out, I'm just there like, damn, I kind of don't give a fuck about what I'm doing with this army shit right now. You know, it's like, me, I was just in the mindset of being in the field or whatever. Even though the NTC was pretty fucking tame, it was just easy as shit, and it was my first time, and I was like, damn, dog, I kind of wish we went to the box, the hot box. Why is this little thing here? Who's tripping up? Who's tripping up? But yeah, it's like I get a day's work done, and then I chill out, play Tears of the Kingdom, and be like, yo, I'm having the time of my life. And then you'd still have people asking me if I wanted to go out and get like normal food and shit instead of eat the army food, which was, you know, I ate it mainly for the memories. Uh-oh. Zelda's not here. And there's 3 video files for Blood Moon, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, it's it was dumb. I never went out when we had the freedom to, because no. Why would I get comfortable just to get uncomfortable again? And also, why would I spend my money when the food is free? It might not be the best, but hey, it's free. But yeah, it was definitely something. Speaking of something, hold on, where's it at? There we go. There she is. Speaking of something, hubba blubba. Yeah, the good qualities of mods right here. Like, yeah, damn. I'm just saying, it's like how can you hate mods? Like, this is just delicious. It's like fucking chocolate milk. Well, like before Michelle Obama like took it away from schools or whatever. It was damn. But yeah, based as fuck mod. What am I trying to do now? What am I thinking? I just hope that Nintendo gets their shit together when it comes down to the department of being on the fan feedback side. That's tame, not the respecting everyone's wishes, because there are a lot of dumbasses. She really do be looking at the camera though. Oh wait, no, she's just gonna look at Link. Yeah, her eyes are fucked. I know the person that made this mod for her, not only is that base, but they said that like her eyes don't look in the direction they should. But at least her eyes blink. But I don't know, I just hope that the next Zelda game, god damn, we've won. That's a spicy meatball. What was I saying? I genuinely forgot. Holy shit. That's crazy. I really forgot. I'm forgetting by the day. Yeah, we get more of this, but no, more of Skyward Sword, but put a Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom spin on it. You know, have that good classic Zelda like item management. Remove a whole bunch of aspects like a shit ton of slots, all the shield stuff and all the weapon stuff. You can see, and that's the thing. Outfits, make it cosmetics. Make it cosmetics. All these materials, they don't need all this stuff. Like for a classic Zelda game, you know, for my ideal classic Zelda game that would have Skyward Sword, Tears, and Breath of the Wild in mindsets. You can have these ancient joints, but they gotta do something more than just sit here in my pocket. And key items, it's cool to see key items, but fuck, man, some of these shits feel like you should be able to like do something with them, you know? Kinda, sorta. These, oh my god, I wish these had upgrades. I definitely missed that shit about the Sheikah Slate. At least it was able to be upgraded. This shit couldn't. Granted, I wouldn't know what the fuck you could really do, but like, cause Ultra Hand, you can just grab anything versus the Magnesis where it's just metallic shit. And then Fuse, see, an upgrade for Fuse would be able to defuse shit. Just like that. And Ascend, I don't fucking know. I genuinely don't know. Descend, maybe. Recall, Stasis, auto builds. Just make auto build costs less, you know, when it comes down to Zonites. That's really it. I don't really think I have much to really input. I'm kind of like good. I've been talking for 2 hours now. Beat the game like 2 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago. Feels good to be able to play this game again. Roam around and shit. Feel good. If I do, I still don't know if I'm going to continue this. If I do, I mentioned how I was gonna put it as extra, but I don't know. As far as new playthroughs go, I would rather stream a mod, because I know the dude that made Dark Army Resurrection made for the Breath of the Wild also is currently making one now for this, which is pretty fucking cool, I might say. And I would be very interested in that, as well as randomizers too. Randomizers have unlimited potential for this and Breath of the Wild. Like, holy shit. I don't know. I don't really have much more to add, to be honest. Kind of said not necessarily all I wanted to say. I said a good portion of what I wanted to say. But I definitely am, now that I'm done with this game, I can finally work on my fucking script and not feel like I'm in that task paralysis, procrastination feeling. But I will say it's definitely going to take some time, because with me getting out the military and stuff, it's like I'm going to have to basically go back to a normal type living, civilian type lifestyle, something I'm not really accustomed to because of the fact that I jumped into military, not straight out of high school, but after some time passed and nothing was really going for me. So now that I have more experience, more usability, pretty sure, having that good fine line of getting a job and stuff is going to be easy. Now that things are good, I have my setup, I'm content with all that I have. Yeah, things should be good this far. And I should probably have a way better time when it comes down to it, because I have also put myself in a state where my dopamine levels for video games are fucking low. Like I find myself playing games, but then I'll be like, I don't want to play the fucking game. I want to do anything else. Like it comes to a point where I'm able to watch anime again because of that. So, given the fact that that's where my dopamine shit is at, it's like now I'm just like, and then it came to a point where anytime drill would come up, or like annual training or whatever sort of army orders were available, I'd be like, yes, finally, I can get up and fucking do some shit. So yeah, being in the state, like, yes, I get that people will be like, oh, well, playing video games is good. If I could do that, it's like, yeah, cool. Yeah, that is definitely cool. But if you don't have fluctuating income, like, you're going to be shooting yourself in the dick, and then eventually you won't be able to do that thing that you fucking love. Maybe on the Switch because it's handheld, and then you just need to find a place to charge the shit, but you're still going to need food, drinks, all that shit. So, yeah, I'm actually feeling pretty good about that. I'm definitely glad I'm done with this playthrough. I'm not going to delete the save file or anything of that extreme. Speaking of save files, one thing I am pissed off about, though, the fact that Master Mode's save is incompatible with the whole transferring of save, which also hurts the game consistently. And even then, it's just they're like, that, even if you do get that shit added for normal mode to this game's normal mode, it hurts it as well, because it's like, you get that after doing the whole trials and shit, the champions ballad and all that stuff. I'm like, bro, like, what is canon and what is not? It's like, there's just too much when it comes down to it. But like I said, as far as what's canon, what's not, I don't mind there being another timeline split. However many timeline splits that could be, maybe 2, maybe 3. I don't mind. I'd rather it do something that it would submit to be and just have that split. But yeah, Tears of the Kingdom is a game that made me feel happiness, made me feel a mixture of emotions, good, bad, but mostly fucking good. The negative, but in a positive way, and positive in a positive way and stuff of that sort. It was what I wanted. Maybe not everything in my expectations, but most of those expectations were just hopes that I could only think and theorize about, aka demise, not being that dude that was just, you know, shown on the screen. Yeah, that's demise, right? And it's like, nope, that's just Ganondorf. Not even Ganon, just Ganondorf. But yeah, especially with secret stones, should definitely be called sacred stones. But you know, I mean, I guess it's a secret because of the fact that not even the last two fucking Zonai know what the fuck they do besides amplify powers and shit. But hey, it is what it is. But I've babbled on. Anything else, I'm probably just gonna put it into the script and whatever, maybe ever streams or whatever. But yeah, I definitely did gain some subscribers and then lost some and then gained some more. I did have like 369, which was like pretty cool, baseball time, and then it got to like 370, and then that shit went back down again by like 3. So currently I'm at like 367. Probably lost more, I don't know. I'm completely fine with that. My video of I fell off kind of like explains a lot of stuff of how I feel. Basically it's like an update for me and the channel, kind of, sort of. But yeah, things are just going to be more slower, you know. I'm going to take my fucking time, and streaming is fine, right? But it only feels good when there's people here. But I can't dictate when people are here or not, you know? And not only that, but it feels though that I've probably been doing streaming way too much as well. And not only that, but I still have the clips channel, which I have a shit ton of clips, but I never use any of it. And it's like they don't take too much to really do anything with. But at the same time, I feel that feeling of if I do something for the clips channel and then I'm also promoting this channel as the base, like, damn, people come here and they're expecting shit. Like, you know, so I don't really want to disappoint in that forefront. But yeah, I do want to work on my script. I do want to make that video. It's just probably going to take a good long while. I mean, my Sonic Frontiers video I was working on like I think all of December, because I streamed the game in November, and I don't remember when I was working on my script, but that shit didn't get out until like January. And given how big this game is, oh my god, like I have so many freaking MP4 files of the gameplay as well as the streams, and I'm gonna have to like look up certain particular moments. But yeah, my main goal, if I can, is to have a 3-hour at max long video, be on some Arlo shit. But yeah, till next time, hope you all are doing well. I'm glad I'm done with this game. I can play it normally on my own save if I want to. And yeah, test out some more mods, all that stuff. And I'm not going to say expect a video, because who knows? It's way more ambitious. And frankly, once I unleashed the Sonic Frontiers video, I kind of like felt like doggy dookie, because I feel like nothing could live up to that, which I know doesn't really have to, which is why my One Piece video was kind of like trash. Kind of lacked on that. And then it came to my I fell off video. But hopefully that didn't deter anybody too much to just be like, fuck off. You know, for the people who actually decide to stick by. But yeah, I've babbled on. So I'm gonna end with this. Morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Where you may reside, hopefully you're doing good. Your friends, families, and loved ones in your life alike. Thanks for this. Thanks for stopping by. Those in the futures, thanks as well. And until next time, hopefully I can get off my fucking ass and do that goddamn video so you can probably see it now, but who knows? I don't know. I don't know the future. But yeah. Peace out. Bye-bye.